Just do yours for now, and then they can do theirs.
All right. I'll shut myself off. Good evening. Welcome to the Malden Board of Appeals. The time is 6:30 and we're ready to begin. We're holding a public hearing today, Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 at 6:30 at Malden City Hall, 215 Pleasant Street, room 106, Herbert L. Jackson, Council Chambers. This meeting may be recorded by Urban Media Arts, formerly known as Malden Access Television. Order of petitions to be determined by the chairperson. Before we get started, we'll do a roll call for attendance. Hold on.
Sherwin? Here. Wu?
Sorry.
Desposito? Here. King?
Here.
Bilgin? Here. Froyo?
Here.
Nate Kramer's absent. Steve Froyo will be sitting in as chairman for this meeting. And he's appointed Maria Desposito as the sit-in for this.
Thank you, Erin. Approval of minutes from April 16th, 2025. Did all the members have a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting? And is there anything the members would like to discuss about the minutes? If not, would somebody like to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
All those,
Motion to approve the minutes from the April meeting made by King, second by Sherwin. Desposito?
yeah.
Fine.
Bilgin?
I wasn't here, do I vote?
No, King?
That's right, I wasn't here.
Yes.
Sherwin?
Yes.
Wu? Froyo?
Yes.
Minutes have been approved.
So we have to appoint a new member to the ADU Commission. The City Council recently amended the Code of the City of Malden, Section 12.32.030, by adding subsection D, site plan review for accessory dwelling units. This new section provides the applicability and requirements of the site plan review, along with the makeup of the committee. The composition of the site plan review committee for accessory dwelling units. This new section provides this new section provides the applicability requirements of site plan review, along with the makeup of the committee. So the composition is going to be the site plan review committee for accessory dwelling units shall have the following 3 regular members and 1 associate member. The building commissioner, director of public health, director of OSPCD or designee. The designee shall be a member of the OSPCD staff, and the Board of Appeals shall appoint one of its members as an associate member of the SPRC ADU to serve as an alternative voting member when needed. Anybody want to volunteer? All right, there you go.
Surprised. Catherine Bilgin has volunteered to be a member of the ADU. Thank you, Catherine. You're welcome.
So we have that done. So we have tabled from last meeting, so the March meeting, petition 25-001 by Peter Layden, seeking a variance on the Code of the City of Malden as amended. Title 12.16.060, Table of Intensity Regulations. Specifically, it was for a violation of front yard setback as per plans. RES 069350-2025 at the property known as and numbered as 19 George Street, Malden, Mass, and also known by City Assessors Parcel ID 143-668-803. Is anybody here from George Street? Could you come up? Could you just state your name and spell it, please?
My legal name is Eleanor Wyden, W-Y-D-E-N. So I sent the paperwork.
Yeah, we have the plans here.
Can you turn our mic on?
The podium.
Oh, I gotta do
The
it here.
microphone down towards you.
Hold on.
It's not on.
It's on now. That was my mistake.
Oh, it just went off again, it's red now.
No, you're all set.
It's working now.
Oh, it's okay? Okay. All right, so my name's Helena Leiden, Helena. And I brought hard copies if anyone wants them of the plot plan that we had done, which shows that the front step is closer to the
Yeah.
city
So-
property, which is what we were
So if I
asked to
remember
do.
right, we tabled it last time because we were waiting on stamp plans or official plans, and we have those now. So I think we all agreed it was okay, and we just wanted the plans. So does anybody want to make a motion?
I think that it shows that it's not increasing any of the need for the variance. They're not as close as their front steps, which are almost right on the line. So they do have it held back as far as they can, and as they have an in-law, I think for safety, it's a good thing to have a second egress out of that floor. And this is basically the only way to do it, I think. So I would move that we grant the variance.
We have a motion to approve. Can I get a second? All right.
Motion to approve petition 25-001 for 19 George Street, made by King, second by Bilgan. Desposito?
Accept.
Bilgan?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Sherwin?
Yes.
Foil.
Yes.
Petition 25-001 for 19 George Street has been approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
right.
Do I have to wait for something in writing, or that was?
30 days.
We'll send a decision, you'll get a decision.
Okay.
You'll get a letter in the mail with the decision and the decision letter and how to move forward with it. It's 30 days.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right. All right, the second petition is petition 25-002 by Delight Medicals, a durable medical supply company. They're seeking a variance under Code of the City of Malden as amended. Table of intensity regulations, specifically parking requirements for retail sales as per plans, residential -071714-2025 at the property known as and numbered 616 Broadway, Malden, Mass. Also known by the city assessors parcel ID number 160625501.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. My name is Attorney Patrick McDonald. I maintain law offices here in Malden at 479 Eastern Ave, and I represent the petitioner in this matter, Delight Medicals Incorporated, and its principal, Mr. Anthony Uday, who is with me tonight to my left. This petition seeks a variance specifically for parking at the property known as and numbered 616 Broadway here in the city. Mr. Uday is a recent purchaser of this property. He is a long-term business owner and operator here in the city. Delight Medicals has been in Malden for 13 years now, from 2002 until 2020. He was located on Lebanon Street since 2012 to 2020. He was located on Lebanon Street. From 2020 to present, he has been located at the Adams Plaza down on Eastern Ave. This property became available. He was able to purchase it, and he's hoping to relocate his business to that location and expand it to some extent. The property currently has on it a single-story building with 2,500 square feet. He's looking to expand it, as is evidenced by the plan, a little bit. Its footprint, which would generate an additional 2,000 square feet of floor space, creating a 4,500 square foot building. The parking requirement, the technical parking requirements, by the way, this is a highway business owned parcel, and his use as a medical supply retailer falls under the general category of retail sales. That category under our zoning requires one zoning compliant parking space for every four zoning compliant parking spaces for every 1,000 square feet of floor space. With a 4,500 square foot building, he would need 17 parking spaces. Initially, a plan was filed, but we have gone in a slightly different direction. An updated revised plan was filed during the interim period between last month's boarded meeting and this one. And the revised plan, as the board can see, the lot contains 2 points of entry, or did contain 2 points of entry. One on Baird Street. This property is on the corner of Broadway and Baird Street. And there's a curb cut that allowed ingress and egress to the lot on Baird Street. There's also a curb cut on Broadway that allows ingress and egress to the parcel. Historically, the previous owner and operator of the property was a Class II used car dealership. And for whatever reason, that owner-operator preferred having access to the lot from Baird Street and had actually installed a bollard blocking the curb cut on Broadway. The reason we changed our plan was, although the meeting last time couldn't go forward because of lack of a quorum, there were several neighbors who showed up and expressed opposition to it. I would suggest to the board that a great deal of the concerns that they raised, while all legitimate, were, as a practical matter, probably exclusive to the previous occupant, the used car dealership, given the volume and the nature of the business and the fact that that occupant was using the Baird Street ingress and egress and not the Broadway one. We were led to believe by these folks who had some concerns and complaints that they felt that if the Baird Street ingress egress was not there, it would alleviate some of their concerns related to traffic and parking. That was something that Mr. Uday could do, something he's willing to do, and in fact something he's already done at this point. The lot now is blocked, the Baird Street curb cut is now blocked, and the bollard has been removed from the Broadway curb cut, so now that functions as the sole means of ingress and egress. That did result, however, the proposal was always going to be deficient with respect to parking because there's not enough room on this lot, even without the improvement for 17 parking spaces. The original plan had 8 parking spaces, but that kept both curb cuts active. The new plan with the Baird Street curb cut closed, the way it's configured now, he could only get 7 parking spaces. So we're looking for a variance to legalize this use at this location with about a 10 parking space deficiency. But the increase in deficiency was as a result of him attempting to address and resolve to some extent the concerns that were brought to his attention. If there are other concerns by neighbors we're unaware of them. We were specifically made aware of the concerns about the Baird Street curb cut causing parking and traffic problems, so we addressed those as best we could by closing them. But that did result in the loss of even one more parking space. But I would suggest that this petitioner meets the standard for a variance. We have a uniquely shaped lot. This is oddly shaped as a corner lot with a curve. That has had an impact on the ability to create zoning compliant parking spaces. The hardship here is that in the absence of relief, there's really no way that Mr. Uday could use this property. And again, the variance here is for parking. It's just not going to be something that can be accommodated based on the size of the lot and its shape. And with respect to whether or not this variance substantially derogates from the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance, I would say that while yes, certainly the zoning ordinance calls for a certain amount of parking for a certain type of use. In this case, retail sales require 4 parking spaces for every 1,000 square feet of floor space in your building. But the category of retail sales is a very broad one, and there is a genuine spectrum. There are any number of types of businesses that fall under retail sales, but there's going to be a spectrum of those businesses with respect to the level of intensity for parking and traffic that type of business generates. And I would suggest to the board that Mr. Uday's use as a medical supply company is on the very, very low end of intensity and parking as opposed to any number of other uses that might create more issues. For example, the immediate preceding use of the property is a Class II dealership, which, again, we believe was that particular use and that particular occupant, in addition to another Class II dealership, I believe, located across the street. These two Class II dealerships were just creating a lot of traffic and parking issues in that particular tight area. Mr. Uday's use as a medical supply company, just by virtue of that type of business, is going to substantially reduce parking and traffic issues because he's not that intense a use. For example, Mr. Uday tells me that approximately 97% of his business as a medical device supplier does not involve anybody coming to his lot to purchase it. A medical supply store like his is not a place where people walk in off the street or drive to, for the most part, to look at what's in there and see if they want to buy something. The vast majority, 97, 98% of his business involves hospitals, hospice care centers, et cetera, who make orders. They don't come to his location to that. They order a particular medical device, whether that's a wheelchair or a commode or whatever it might be, and he arranges for the delivery of that item to the location. Maybe it's an individual's home where they're on hospice, or maybe it's somewhere else. But the bottom line is it doesn't involve anybody driving and needing to park at his location. It might involve, for example, a UPS truck or a FedEx truck showing at the location to pick the package up and then to take it where it's going. And similarly, in terms of product coming to his facility, yes, there are going to be delivery trucks coming. He tells me that on average, he gets a delivery once a week of product to his location. Sometimes it's as infrequent as every 2 weeks he gets a delivery truck there. So when compared to the immediately preceding use and compared to the spectrum and the higher end of parking requirements for retail sales, again, his type of business is very, very low intensity with respect to parking, with respect to traffic. And as a consequence, I would suggest that the number seems large. Oh, you're supposed to have 17, you've only got 7. But when you consider the nature of his business, it's not really that big of a deficiency. So we ask that the board grant that. We do have Mr. Uday has procured a couple of letters from local residents in support that we ask permission to submit to the board. We have consulted with Ward Councilor Winslow. We believe he's supportive of it. I'm sure he's going to want to speak himself. But we've tried to make outreach to those neighbors. We've tried to address the concerns that were brought to our attention by several of the neighbors. And we think we've done what we can, and we think we meet the standard for the variance under those circumstances, and we respectfully request a favorable ruling from the board. Mr. Uday is available for any direct questions, as am I. But in the absence of direct questions, or prior to that, if I could submit these, Chairman, at this point.
Sure.
Thank you.
We also received one letter of support too that I've attached there, so we'll add these to this. Thank you. So we have
So,
a total of three letters in support.
all right.
Yeah, I think you just read the names and with their address.
All right, so we have a letter of support from Anthony Comita from 42 Loomis, apartment 317. And we have a letter of support from Eddie Colometta from 616 Broadway. And we have a letter of support from Councilor Stephen Winslow. No address. I hope you live in Malden.
Can I have a question?
Yep.
Or a couple, actually. Mr. Uday, how many employees do you have normally at the store?
6. Like 3 of them are full-time, the other one are like part-time. They come and go, you know. How many at any one time?
How many at any one time?
One time?
How many at any given one
At
time?
any time, maybe about 3.
3? And then,
Maybe 4.
okay, and then do you have delivery trucks yourself that you use? How many of those do you have? One? Okay, because I know, I mean, I've seen medical supply places, and I don't see people browsing, I mean, going in and looking at the types of walkers that might be there. But you really, like you say, there's about 97% of your business is just call in or
Yeah.
email or whatever they do nowadays.
95 to 97% is all drop ship, or we do delivery.
Okay,
Rarely do people come into our office I mean, for the fact of the kind of business we do, it's not a place where everybody would want to come in every day. Most of our requests and orders come straight from doctor's offices. And once it gets approved, we go drop ship it through FedEx. As a matter of fact, FedEx, most of the time FedEx can even come to our office. They keep most of the delivery from the manufacturers. Rarely do they come. The only thing that we have standby is our office van, because we have a tech that will go and kind of set up a wheelchair. So that one is a standard. We need to have a government product.
okay.
Just have a question to better understand why you need this variance. Is it because you're expanding the footprint of the building? You need to be increasing the square footage of the actual building, and that's why you can't fit?
Yes, because, I mean, over time, our business is kind of trying to grow, and we need to keep, more inventories in our storage.
Right, because as it is right now, the building, you could fit the required spaces, but you have to expand the existing building?
That's correct.
Right,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Does anybody else want to speak for or against?
Counselor Winslow, 83 Jacob Street. So I represent this, this is now part of Ward 6. This area for a long time, until 2020 was, or a little after, was part of Ward 8. And I know since I've become the ward counselor here of the used car dealers have been a very, and this property was also a scooter dealer, very disruptive to the neighborhood. And, between the parking, people driving up Baird Street to test cars or scooters, a lot of issues. And so I really think that, and I know Heavenly Medicals has been a Maplewood business for years and years. They started on Lebanon Street, never recall any issues with them or any parking issues there. Very low-key business. I know they're on, near on Eastern Avenue or Broadway. Used to be an enterprise dealer. I went over and visited the business in person. Didn't seem to be any particular parking issue there. And I could definitely see that the business, he has a lot of supplies that he keeps on site. So it was really mostly equipment ready to go and that type of thing. So I just think on the balance, the given it is a funny lot, Baird Street goes up the hill and to the right. It's kind of a weird shaped lot that it's hard to get a business in there. Maybe that's why this is attracted like used car businesses or whatever. I just think that in the whole, it'll be very beneficial to the neighborhood to have this, and I appreciate the owner working with the neighbors. The big concern I did hear was about access to Baird Street, and having the people come and go onto Broadway is a big improvement. And so I just think it is a good business, and that it is, we have a long-standing business who's investing here. Personally, I've needed these services for my wife, not from this business, but from having someone, a medical supplier stuff, and it is, you see, we go from the hospital, we have to get stuff delivered. It just goes right from the doctors and nurses' orders right to our house. We don't go by the medical supply people. I mean, pharmacies we have to go to, but this stuff is being delivered right to our door. So it seems like a good fit, and that the retail level this isn't someone. When I went into the business, it wasn't like there were 5 customers waiting or anything like that. It really is more few people in the office taking calls and coordinating orders, getting them ready, shipping them out. So it seems like that, yes, you can go in there, but it's not the primary business. So I think everything they've spoken of, I would confirm, and I think it would be very beneficial. And I think the other thing, just to let you know, the license committee next week is taking up the license for the adjoining used car dealer. And one of the things we realized was that the adjoining property on the other side of Baird Street, there's one owner who owns 2 adjoining parcels, and they had 2 different used car dealers. And those dealers were applying for licenses for both parcels. So they were double counting the parking there, which was another irritant. So we've cracked down on that, and we've tightened up there. So I think it's all beneficial. Like if Councilor Sika's head of that committee, so we're definitely working to address the concerns here. But one big step would to make sure that a longtime business owner could take a responsible business here that would not be a problem to the neighborhood. So I think that's a huge benefit. This will be a much better and less intrusive business than has been there, and it's been attractive there. So I'm supportive in that. So thank you.
All right, great, thank you.
Yeah. And
Anybody?
I know there's not a cannabis shop either. That is,
All right.
I know that was another thing. So thank you.
Anybody else to speak for or against? All right. Seems like a web-based business with not too many customers. Anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve petition 25-002, Delight Medicals at 616 Broadway, made by Desposito. Anyone second?
Everyone a second?
Second.
Second by King. Sherwin,
I recuse myself.
yes, Sherwin recusing himself, so Alex Yu is going to be sitting in for this vote. Alex Yu? Desposito?
Yes.
Bilgan?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Froyo.
Yes.
Petition 25-002 has been approved for Delight Medicals at 616 Broadway.
All right, the next petition is 25-003 by Malden Catholic, seeking a variance on the Code of the City of Malden as amended, Title 4, Section 4.16, sign control, as per plans, SGER 071901-2025, at the property known and numbered 50 Crystal Street, Malden, Mass., and also known by City Assessors Parcel ID number 128437701.
Good evening, members of the Board of Appeals. Roberto DeMarco here on behalf of Malden Catholic. I was before you about a little more than a year ago, when this project was first coming out of the ground. And I'm happy to report we are about 6 weeks away from a full occupancy permit. This has been truly a citywide effort and a massive effort by everybody. And first, the school would like to say thank you to the city and to this board for understanding and realizing what they were trying to do. I'm here tonight because we need to get signs on the building. The signs are of a few different types. One that might be in your packet is the cross, which is not part of the petition. It has been stated by the sign committee that it is not subject to oversight. The others break down into 2 main categories. First, we have, and I have with me tonight the sign designer who has boards to go over. If you have questions as to the details, then I have representative, the director of facilities, DJ Kachaputi, who is running the facility and helping to get this to the finish line for any questions you have. But to just bring these to a summarized ending, we have 2 main categories. We have the emblem, Malden Catholic's emblem, MC, which we seek to put on the front of the building, one of those on one of the stair towers. That is then mimicked on the back 2 corners of the building. The reason for that is because this building sits at a crossroads, both coming towards the campus on Crystal Street and coming towards the campus on Sharon Street, as well as the front of the building, those would be the identifying marks. This is a very large building, and the signs, the emblem is oversized. And due to Malden Catholic being separated off the main route by itself, these are going to be good marks for people to be able to see where they're going when they're coming up the roads and know that that the campus is ahead of them. This will not disrupt the neighborhood. We are in an industrial zone. We're a little bit unique that way, as I've told this board before. So we are off the beaten path. We need some designation so people can see what that they're coming to the right place, and these emblems will mark the campus. The other signs are going to be banners that we would like to hang from the sides of this building, since it's a sports facility at the back half that you approved. That sports facility at the back half, we have banners that we would hang from the sides of the building. They would be changed out on a regular basis to celebrate our teams, as well as our achievements, campus achievements for the students. It's part of building the idea that we are a family and celebrating the students and their accomplishments. So those are the signs. They are sized for being able to be seen. Being that we are by ourselves, we do not feel that this will have a negative impact on the neighborhood. You can grant this without substantial derogation of the ordinance, since we are a unique parcel by ourselves, three-sided, back from the main thoroughfare. And there is, based upon the size of the building, the topography of the lot, and the location of the building, we believe that we have sized them accordingly. We also base them on what other schools of our type are doing around the area. We are actually being a little bit more humble than, say, Saugus High School, which everybody can see when they come down Route 1 with its sachems across the rooftop. So that's what we're asking for. If the board has questions, like I said, I have the sign designer and the school representative with me.
All right, thank you. Anybody have anything to ask, add?
Lighting?
The crucifix will be lit on a perpetual basis. The other signs will follow the requirements of law, of the ordinance, which require that they be turned off when the school closes for the evening. They will be computer controlled within the building, and they will be set on timers that can all be either automatic or manually turned off.
So is it like internal lighting, or is it?
No, it's going to be focused on the signs. Correct?
Yeah, it's gonna be halo lit.
Halo lit.
Halo lit, so they're gonna be face lit and backlit.
If you want to.
Yeah, because halo lit is like,
Yeah, so they're gonna be lit from the back and the front. They're gonna have clear plastic on the back of the cross and all the emblems. There'll be internal LEDs on the front of the sign, so they'll be lit through the front and the back.
okay, but like there's no ground lighting that goes up on it.
Absolutely.
Okay. And the banners are what, how tall are they? 180 inches?
I'm sorry, what was that?
The banners, I was just wondering about the size.
The size of the banner.
And they're gonna be on what sides of the building?
They're be on both the Sharon Street side and the Crystal Street side, on both sides of the building. Across from the field right now the plan is that the ones across from the field will be focused on sporting events, and the ones that are on the other side will be focused on academic events.
Banner's about 180 inches tall, 3 foot wide.
What building, is this a school itself, or is this a new part of a school?
This is the new building that was approved by the board. There is a 70,000 square foot new building that was put up. It has a 35,000 square foot indoor field, as well as a 3-floor academic building that contains athletic facilities, new 21st century classrooms for the high school students, and a 3rd floor that has a 7th and 8th grade.
And we approved that a couple of years ago?
Last year.
It was built very quickly.
We had no choice. If we don't get it done by the end of this summer with occupancy, we lose a whole year of students. So, and we had, just for the board's information, we had calculated that we'd be successful with 80 new 7th and 8th grade students. We are currently at over 150. So it, thanks to you, the school has a great future in front of it.
Is there a sign on the building right now?
No, the building is still under construction.
I just have a question about the banners. Is it like a typically scaled banner compared to other buildings this size? I'm just trying to picture 42 inches kind of cantilevering over what looks like a sidewalk.
Correct.
Do you think that that's the right scale and the right
I believe
size?
that's an accurate scale, yeah.
But it's a story up off the ground, so people are walking under it with plenty of clearance?
It'll be mounted significantly above the ground. I don't have a distance of how high off the ground it'll be, but there'll be no issues with pedestrians or vehicles hitting it whatsoever.
Are those lighted or?
Those will not be lit.
For information, you can see from the drawing that the bottom section of that building is of a different color than the top section. You're talking about a 12 to 15 foot tall section, so you're at least 12 feet off the ground from the bottom of that banner.
What kind of materials? The banners.
The banner will just be a mesh banner. And then there'll be pole pockets top and bottom secured through the pole with zip ties to prevent the banners from falling off. Aluminum brackets going through the building, bolted through the cantilevers on the backside.
Is it mesh?
Yeah, a mesh banner, correct.
Okay, and how long do they typically last?
They can last up to 5 to 10 years, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
If,
Hurricanes don't
yeah,
count.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
it all depends on the weather, lighting and whatnot.
What does perpetual mean? With respect to the cross being lit perpetually?
There would be, because it's the religious symbol,
Yeah.
there would be times of the year when the light is not turned off. At certain times of the year, the school's tradition is to keep the cross lit.
Thank you.
Anybody well, thank you. Anybody in the audience have for or against it? Well, if nobody else has anything, any questions? Could I get a motion?
I just wanted to make a statement to see if anyone had a response to it. I do think that this is a very unique situation where they have built a campus and they're still trying to conform to signage zoning rules that are really geared towards, downtown businesses that have a certain amount of frontage and require sort of, reference to the surroundings. And this is a very unique situation in that it doesn't necessarily have to comply with everything that's put out there based on the scale of the building, the type of building, the campus that they've set up. So I definitely think there's some freedom, and I definitely support the idea that this is an atypical lot and situation.
Sounds like you want to make a motion to approve.
Just curious if other people see it that way too before I do that.
I've been there. I agree with you 100%. Most of the building, where the signs are going to be, face MC itself, the existing MC. So I don't see an issue. There's no neighbors down there really, other than businesses, and I don't think they're going to have an issue with it. I mean, they're not here, so.
And I think if it were a contiguous lot, where you're separated by a street and you own a huge amount across the street, if it were one, we really wouldn't be talking too much, except for the fact, like you mentioned, that the signage ordinance is not really geared for this.
So we could talk all night or make motions to approve.
Happy to make a motion to approve the variance for the signs, looking for a variance.
How about a second?
Aye.
We have a second.
Motion to approve petition 25-003 from Malden Catholic at 50 Crystal Street was made by Bilgan, second by you. Desposito?
Yes.
Bilgan?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
You?
Yes.
Froyo?
Yes.
Petition 25-003 has been approved.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
All right.
members of the board. And we welcome you to attend the grand opening in September of the building. Invitation from the school. Thank you.
All right,
for
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next petition is 25-004 by Tufts Medicine Behavioral Health Hospital, seeking a variance on the Code of City of Malden as amended Title 416-090, sign control as per plans, SGER 071860, 2025, at the property known and numbered 100 Hospital Road, Malden, Mass. You're already up there. And also known by city assessors parcel ID number 025104401.
Good
You can
evening.
go ahead. Could you say your name and address, please? Name and how to pronounce it?
My name is Ken Duval. I'm here from Duval Sign, representing Tufts for the variance. What we have here is a denial due to the zoning issue. It's in a residential zone, but I'm sure you're familiar with the building. They're building a massive medical facility up there. And so the variance is for signs number 1 and 2 in the package, which is a monument sign at the entrance and a modest channel letter sign that's going like 80 feet up to the top. And that's, if you have any questions for me in regards to the signs or anything like that.
It's sort of the same situation as MC, where it's basically a standalone large building. Where are the signs going to face? Is it Hospital Road itself?
Yeah, yes, let me just take a look here. It's on the front of the building, so it's on the top of the hill facing the pond that's down.
Yeah, so that's
Yes,
that's Hospital Road.
yes. And it's 80 feet up. Everything conforms. The lighting will be on a timer to conform with the code for the town, for both signs. And that's,
Why is
it's,
it,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, why is a variance needed? What's the issue?
It's just a zoning issue because it's an RA.
So if no sign is allowed, or is there a smaller sign that's supposed to be allowed?
Nelson, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so it's sort of a special situation where the hospital is actually located in the Residence A zoning district. So our sign ordinance, there's a few layers of regulation, and the first one begins at zoning district. Residence A is intended to be 1 and 2 family homes, so essentially no signs are allowed. But the hospital's been there a long time. So this is the biggest issue, is the fact that they fall within the Residence A zoning district, which means they can't have a sign that's larger than 6 square feet, which doesn't make a lot of sense for a hospital. So their signs don't comply with the rules because there are no rules which allow signs like this in Residence A. Their issue is really the fact that the property sits in the Residence A zoning district.
Thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, there aren't really many houses right there either.
There's not many houses. It's, there's a medical facility across the street.
Yeah.
And down the street a little bit, there's houses, but I'm surprised. I never knew it was in a Resident A zoning district. That's a mistake.
Change the zone, change the zoning.
Anybody have any questions, or?
I just think it's a pretty helpful thing to have wayfinding signs. And it makes total sense to make sure that people, one, see the building and don't cause an accident turning into the curb cut, and then 2, can navigate around to the correct place to park or the doors. So I think everything on here seems like it supports a very well-functioning parking lot and business.
All right. Anybody in the audience want to speak for or against it? Sounds like we have somebody who wants to make a motion again.
I think John's breathing. You might want to say something.
He's thinking.
No.
No, you don't want to say anything?
No, I'd make a motion that we approve the variance.
All right, how about a second?
I'll second.
Motion to approve petition 25-004 for Tufts Medicine Behavioral Health at 100 Hospital Road has been made by Bilgan, second by Desposito. Sherwin?
Yes.
Desposito?
Yes.
Bilgan?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Froyo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion 25-004 has been approved. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, the last petition is petition 25006 by Jose Urias, seeking a variance on the code of the City of Malden as amended, Title 12.16.060, Table of Intensity Regulations, specifically front setback stairs as per plans, RES 070080-2025 at the property known and numbered as 35 Hazelwood Street, Malden, Mass., and also known by City Assessors Parcel ID 097-423-310. Welcome. Could you say your name and how to pronounce it?
Jose Urias, Urias.
All right.
That's my last name. Yeah, I'm in front of the board, asking for variance for my front stairs. The reason we moved the front stairs is because we can have a better layout on the inside. It used to be on the left side to the front porch, now we just moved to the center to the porch. That way it's equal center and architectural gonna look much better due to all the extent of the work that we're doing at the house.
All right. How far off the sidewalk is the stairs? I see 4.3 here.
It's about 4 feet.
4 feet.
Yeah, they're gonna end exactly where the old stairs it used to be. The only difference is because we move it to the center to the porch, front porch.
All right.
Have you already moved them?
Yes, I mean, they're already framed. We are in process doing the renovation of the property right now.
And when
And
you-
we move also the front door as well.
And when you got your permit,
Uh,
where were the?
Well, all we have is just the strings, I mean, and
No,
temporary.
no. When you went to the building department and you got a permit, did you have the stairs located where you now want to do it, or was it still just
When-
to repair the old stairs?
When we apply for the permit, we want to keep it at the same place. But due to the bad condition, the house was abandoned for like more than 10 years, they need to be replaced. And when, with the door, the front door was, when you open the door, it's right into the stairs going to the second floor. So that does, and we didn't have enough clearance when you open the door. It was very tight. So then,
Well,
I
for-
asked.
For 90 years, there was enough clearance to open the door, I would assume. The house has been there a long time,
Yes,
and the door has been there a long time, and the stairs were there a long time, and they worked.
they work, but it's not, I mean, back then, things was built different. Now, because we have an open concept, so to give a better flow, that's the reason we moved the floor, because we has to upgrade the interior stairs as well. They're gonna be wider. So now we don't have technically enough room for the stairs. These are requirement at least 36 inches.
And I don't want to insult our architect on the board here, but the fact is that, that zoning isn't set up for open floor plans necessarily. I mean, they have reasons why they've given setbacks. And you're increasing, in a sense, because you're moving it, you're increasing a violation, which doesn't have to happen. I mean, except for art. It's not, I know it's not a big deal, but I think if the plan was initially leaving the stairs in the same place, I have a problem that now all of a sudden they're gonna be moved, and now we're going to it. Yes, they are gonna be moved. Yes, they are gonna be moved, that you've already framed in this movement, and now we have even a greater violation on the setback.
Can you just clarify, did you rebuild the stairs in the house?
Yes.
Yes, so the old 100-year-old stair probably didn't meet building
mean-
code, and you needed more space to do a proper stair, I'm guessing, and that's why you shifted the door. It makes
That's
perfect
correct.
sense.
We didn't have enough
Yeah,
space
I have
between
the
the door
same
and the
house,
landing.
and my stair is not code compliant, it's grandfathered in, and if we were to rebuild it, our door would not open either. So, to his point, I have a solution maybe that you would be up for hearing, but we don't want to allow you to do something that's making the nonconformity greater, and so I'm just wondering if you'd be open to maybe taking off a step and building up the landscape a little bit, and that way you can keep the stairs on center, but not have it any closer to the sidewalk than what it was before.
It's, I mean, they're gonna end whatever with the old stairs it is. And we can try to work it out, but.
What she's saying is if you build up the ground a little bit,
Just
you
No,
can't
then
take out a
it's gonna
step?
be- Then we're gonna have like 2 platforms from the sidewalk to get into the stairs, because it's not level, so it's off. So it has to build like from the sidewalk, it has to have the first platform, then it has to build the other one, and if we take one, it's still gonna be, because the old stairs, they're not comply.
You can't
by
come up,
code these days.
you can't come up 7 inches over 4 feet?
A slight regrade is what she's saying, so you're sloping your landing down, right, up a little bit, so then you're removing the extra step. You know what I'm saying? So you're eliminating a step by grading up.
But then if
So
I
then you're
do
not in
that, then it
violation.
has to create some kind of retain wall or something, because it's gonna be, we already has to have a platform, a concrete or paver, whatever what we use. It has to be raised at least a full step. If I cut one, then it has to do 2, then it's 12 inches.
Is the pad already poured? Did you pour the pad already?
No, all we have just the strings. I mean, it's better look for the house, all we're trying just to improve the property. I've been living in that street for 23 years.
And
And
this,
that house was begging for.
and the
plastic.
original stairs, they were the same distance off the sidewalk? It looks like it might be a little less, like you came a little closer to the sidewalk.
It's gonna be the same than the old stairs. It's the same steps
mean,
that I used to have.
They make it more difficult on them and have them take out one of the driveway.
And you don't want to turn them towards the driveway? Turn the stairs towards the driveway?
I mean, usually the better look for the house is like if you come, I have the other house, literally the stairs is, because it's existing, literally it's right on the sidewalk. And this one, we have more than 4 feet. That's why I'm asking for a variance.
How many bedrooms in the house?
4. We have to have, I've already been approved for a curb cut because I has to add 2 more parking as well.
Yeah, maybe we can have Nelson come up. I know he needs this for a means of egress, and we allow stairs for a means of egress, and I don't know if there's,
Nelson, you mind coming up?
So the new staircase is not the same distance as the old staircase.
Right,
You can see
so
on the
the-
drawing, the old one, the closest point was 5.2 feet, and this is 4.3, so.
right.
That's why we're here, it's closer. As far as how that staircase lines up with the inside of the house, I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think it
couldn't tell
matters
you.
so much. I understand the story behind it,
Yeah.
but,
And we don't have any caveats in zoning that address egress, only handicap accessibility. So he doesn't, they have to comply with zoning, even if it's the primary means of egress for the building.
mhm.
They-
And how wide do the stairs have to be, the outside stairs?
In total, they only have to be 36 inches. I don't know how wide the staircase is.
Yeah, so I mean, if he did turn it
Yeah, I don't, honestly, I
put
I
a
don't do
landing-
evaluations like that of
No, I know.
what
but I
if they
mean,
possibly turned them one way or the other. I don't know. I just know they got 1 foot closer to the property line, so they're here to see you guys.
And then earlier when I mentioned just maybe resloping the grade a little bit to get rid of a tread, is that something that would be acceptable if it's in line with the old stair?
It's possible. I mean, technically, you're supposed to have a level landing at the top and bottom of every staircase. So, in 1 and 2 family homes, there's a little more latitude with that than there are with commercial buildings, but, you know, you generally don't want people stepping off of their lowest stair onto a slope. That's a trip hazard. So
Right, so
I-
it doesn't have to be maybe a complete slope from, but it could kind of,
It could be, yeah. I don't know what that would look like. I mean, they only have 4 feet to deal with.
right.
It's not a lot.
I don't think that the look of the house should change. I just feel like you're going for a more traditional house that fits within the neighborhood, and turning that stair is gonna do some weird things with railings, so I would hate to see you destroy kind of the character of the neighborhood. I think you're improving things greatly, so I think I applaud that. I just wanna come up with a solution that maybe we don't need a variance. If there is a way to do it, that's always what we look to do first.
A dumb question, why does it have to be rebuilt? Why does it have to be closer? Why can't it be rebuilt as it was before?
It has to be rebuilt because the stair was falling apart.
But I'm asking though, if I'm reading this correctly, it was 5 feet before, why does it now have to become a foot closer?
Because he wants it on center of the stair. So if you imagine when you open your door and you walk out or walk in, it makes more sense to do them related to each other. Whereas in a porch, if you offset one or the other, then you're just using the whole porch for circulation, and it doesn't really make sense. So part of the porch is one, you sit in a chair, eyes on the street, so there's a lot of reasons to have a porch to at least accommodate some seating area or usefulness. It's not just maybe about bringing you up to that landing and entering the door. So it's usually logical to have the stairs and the door related in that way. So he's trying to reorient things because he moved the front door.
All right, anybody else?
But I mean, if he rebuilt the stairs where they were, he's moved the door, that's an issue with him. I mean, needless to say, I don't like granting variances. And and he puts the door, leaves the door where it is. I mean, you can still access the house, maybe.
Right. You could.
Your sensibilities would be challenged, but I mean.
It's a lot easier in an emergency to have the stairs right in front of the door. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
I know, but it's.
I think the reason we see a solution that probably doesn't need a variance, so it's hard for us to grant a variance. We see multiple solutions. And so I would be inclined to ask you to just rethink whether you can try to make stairs on center work, and it's no closer than 5.2 feet from the
Again,
sidewalk.
and bottom line, if I don't get the permission, I'm just gonna put the same way it is. It's just gonna be on the side to the porch, and my door is gonna be on the center, then for example, when you have a fire, then you have to do whatever we have to do, you know, and it's gonna end at the same spot literally, then this one is gonna end. It's just on the left side to the front porch. Because I'm allowed to rebuild as existing.
You also have, I mean, you're saying the width of this new stair is at 7 feet, whereas
Yes.
your old one's at 5, right?
The other one was 5.
So if you're shrinking it to like the minimum code allowable, say 36 or a little bit more, right, and you're attaining the setback, then this isn't a variance issue, right?
That's the width. It's not gonna shrink the stairs coming to the front to the sidewalk. Because we're still gonna have the same number of risers.
Yeah, but I think he's saying if you shrink the width, you might,
You'd be in a wider part of the.
because there's a angle to
Your lot's irregular.
to the house on the street. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if you shrink the stairs, I don't know if it'll get you there, but it'll get you closer. Maybe you could then slope it or something. So you shrink the stairs a couple feet on each side, because you said it's 7 feet, so a foot on each side, a little more. I don't know if it'll get you there, but it'll get you closer to maybe you can slope up from the sidewalk up.
See what I can do, but
I mean, if you want to, here's the thing, I mean, if you want to, you can come back in a month with a new plan and see how you can work that out. 'Cause this is just me, but I mean, personally, I'm not in favor of granting it just for the looks of things. So I mean, either that or you can, like you said, the heck with it, I'll just build it back where it was. If you want to do that, you can do that now. Because like I said, I'm probably not going to be voting in favor of it. I don't know what anybody else would do. But I'll come back next, you've got two suggestions. One, just increasing the level and leaving the stairs the way they are, or shrinking the stairs down, and then you're further, the right-hand side of the stairs is further towards the left side of your lot, where you've got more depth. And then maybe you can do it that way, or a combination of the two.
Can work with the architect and see what we can do, or I can decide to put it back in the same place. I'm just trying to make the house better.
Yeah.
I own all the properties there, and the other two properties, literally the step is right on the sidewalk. So just trying to do better.
So it's up to you. If you want to, you know, if you want, we can decide tonight, or we can table it. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, if you have an architect, I would suggest you table it and see if they can come up with something that's no closer than 5.2 feet from the sidewalk. It doesn't hurt to table it. It doesn't cost money, as I understand it. Right, so it gives you the option.
Do we have to do the publication on the newspaper again?
We would just ask you, we need you to sign something that we can extend the deadline for the project.
Yeah, so you can put me on, then I'll decide in the meantime.
All right.
I'm sure you can find something else to do inside. Besides, the weather's terrible anyway, so it's no fun working outside, I'm sure.
June 18th. All right, so we need a motion to table it.
I'd like to make a motion to table it for 1 month.
A second?
And with the-
Revised plans do whatever.
No, I'm saying a second.
Oh, and that he would sign a waiver of time.
A waiver of time?
Yeah,
Okay. So you second that?
I second that.
Motion to table petition 25-006 for 35 Hazelwood Street, made by Bilgan, second by King, on the condition of a revised plan, and that Jose signs a waiver of time. Desposito?
Yes.
Bilgan?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Sherlin?
Yes.
Froyo?
Yes.
Petition 25-006 for 35 Hazelwood Street has been tabled till the next meeting, which is June 18th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. Anybody, a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, anybody? Adam?
That's my favorite motion.
Motion to adjourn made by Desposito, second by Sherwin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Board of Appeals meeting adjourned at 7:33.
That's a record.
No, it's
I
not.
don't think so.
No, we did one. How many minutes did we do, Steve?